Hello and welcome back to video 2. In this video we're going to talk about the basics of getting started on Mars and the things that you need to do to survive. So this is hashtag noobs on Mars. Now what we're going to do is look at first of all the menu and the dashboard, and then I'm going to take you through some things to consider, and in the next video we'll go through some more advanced gameplay. So here on the left hand side we've got our logo, which takes us back to the website. We can visit Mars as an overview. You can visit your land plot. You can visit the jobs, and we'll talk about that later. There's a marketplace, a shop, and your inventory. We also have our battery cells, which we can see we have 10 of 10. Our water, our food, some actions we can perform, our stamina, our dusk, some news, and a menu. And if I open this, there is a list here, including the player guide, which we will use. So I will open this because this is very, very important. Also, in the bottom left, we have a scavenge, which is a common scavenge, and we have an advanced scavenge. So what do we need to do? We're on Mars, we've got started. What's the first thing that we need to do? Well, you're going to need to feed yourself. That's the most important thing. And if we click on actions, these are some of the basic actions that we can complete in the game. The first is to eat a snack. We can see the action, and we can see the cost, and we can see the reward. So this would consume 30 food and 10 water. You can see we have 34 and 22, so we have enough. This will provide us with 16 stamina and 2 waste. You can see we currently at the moment have 15 stamina. So if I go ahead and eat a snack, you'll see, although I can do all of the other things as well, if I click eat snack, I then acquire 2 waste and 16 stamina in the bottom right, and there is now a cooldown timer for all food related items. It's very important to understand that when you eat a snack, the snack itself is the most profitable in terms of what you get, because you get 16 stamina for 30 food. The meal, eating a meal, has a dice, and anything with a dice has an RNG, a random number generator. So this is a fixed 16 stamina, whereas this is between 20 to 28. And you'll see that a lot in this game. So you're consuming double the food and double the water, but you're not getting double the stamina. Double the stamina would be 32. At a maximum, you're getting 28. But in the worst case scenario, you're only getting 20, which is 4 extra stamina. So you're going to be consuming that additional food for potentially 4 extra stamina. Therefore, I recommend you only eat the snack to be efficient. And then this is where you'll want to pop into the game every 4 hours just to consume this. Now, you don't have to do this. If you only pop in once a day or twice a day, that's fine. And if you skip a day, that's fine also. But be aware that the stamina is going to be one of the most sought after things in this game. This is the hardest thing, and you're going to need this. So I recommend that you stock up. Now, you can only have a maximum of 70 stamina. After that, you won't be able to keep acquiring. And so we need to, in these early stages, first acquire food and water so that we can replenish our stamina. And if we can do this without spending dusk, that will be a bonus. Now, the meal, the feast, and the rations you can ignore. Remember, do not eat your rations. You need to save these for 30 days. Because on day 30, you can come into this menu, and with 250 dusk and 30 rations, you can acquire a Duskworks accommodation, which is a token that you can exchange for your second plot of land. So I want you just to think about that. Okay, so coming out of this menu, we've now consumed our food. What can we do? Well, one thing we can do is scavenge. If I was to scavenge, and I do this on a basic scavenge, I click this button, I've now claimed 2 ice and 6 regolith. Regolith is like Martian dust, and ice is ice. So that's now taken one of my stamina. It's also taken one energy. If I open up my inventory in a new window, you'll notice, and you might have seen this before, in the inventory, there is a scavenger power tool. As you can see, I've just taken and consumed one charge. Okay, we're going to go back and do that again. So I'm going to do a scavenge. I've got some clay, some metal bits, and some electronic bits this time. Okay, I go back to my inventory, and now I'm on 46. And you can see I've got some clay, some electronic bits. I've got my waste from my food, my dust. And so you can see everything that I have now acquired. Also, you can see my land plot. So we're starting to now build out our assets. This is the screen, the inventory screen. This is where you will build out all of your assets. And so this is the screen where you want to consider when you start, it is quite bare and quite empty. And the idea of the game is to efficiently acquire as many assets as possible. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to Mars, and we're going to look on our land at the things we need to do. So the first thing that we need to do in order to get water, because water is something we will need, is we need to take the ice and we're going to need to filter that ice. So the first thing you'll see when you click on a building is this is the overview of the building. It tells us the name and the generation, the level, and you can upgrade the levels of your buildings, how many tasks you can complete at the same time. So we can do 5 tasks. Building size, we know this is 15. And if we go into maintenance, oh, that didn't work. But if we do go into maintenance, that will allow us to either upgrade this building or dismantle this building. And there was a little bug there, so we're just going to go back in again and see if that works. No, we can't do that at the moment, but that's fine. They'll fix that. If you can't do it right now, don't worry. We can come back later and try it again. It might be that we need to click on the cog, but no, again, that is something they're working on. This game does get updated quite frequently, and the developers are very good. If something is being worked on, it'll only be down for a short amount of time. So we ignore maintenance for the moment, and we can see in progress there are 0 tasks. So what we can do now underneath is see the things that can be done. Now in this water filter, we can ferment coffee beans, we can ferment sorghum, or we can filter water. We can also recharge the power. So if I click on filter water, I can take my ice that I've scavenged with some of my stamina. I can add some power, and when I give the building those 3 things, it will give me back in 6 hours water and regolith. So we can do up to 5 tasks, but if I do 5 tasks, you'll notice I don't yet have enough ice. So I can come back down and we'll do 1 task. So we're going to get 16 water for 40 ice. But let's first go ahead and give it some power. So we're going to close this and we're going to recharge. Now we have 10 power cells. We're going to consume 1, and it requires 1 full power cell. It's going to give us 20 units of power storage, and either an empty power cell or a broken power cell. And there's a 2% chance your power cell will break. This is one of the features of the economy where rather than having an abundance of power cells, sometimes they break, which means you need to create more. Every single item in this game is player driven, meaning that you can build power cells. If you have the ability, you can build power cells, you can then sell them. Another thing you can do is charge your empty power cells. You could sell full power cells on the market, buy empty ones, and create that game loop to be efficient and make money. There's many, many different things to do, but everything starts in the player economy. You can also sell your broken power cells, and somebody with the correct building can repair them and then sell them for more on the open market. So the marketplace is somewhere you will spend a lot of your time. We're going to go ahead now and recharge 1 battery, and we're going to see what we get. We got 1 empty power cell. So that's great. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can filter our water. We're going to consume 1 stamina, 40 ice, 10 out of the 20 power, and that will take 6 hours. Now we can either confirm this and use our 1 stamina ourselves, or we can post a work order. Posting a work order means that we will pay somebody 1 dusk to complete this task for us. In this instance, they will use their stamina instead of us. This is good if we don't have stamina, but we still have jobs. As you start to evolve and get deeper into the game, you'll realize that the stamina can deplete very quickly. And so you're going to rely on other people to be able to complete these jobs. Well, because I'm starting out the game and don't have much dusk, I'm going to go ahead and use my own stamina. So now that's started, we can see within 6 hours we will have some filtered water. And that will be great because that will help us for when we run out and we need to eat another snack. So now that we have that, we can come out of this screen. And now I want you to understand the job board. So I'm going to go ahead and just open this in a new tab. And this is where we can post our jobs. If we, in that previous screen, selected the job, it would be here. These are all of the available jobs. And you can see the jobs that are available, what you've posted, and the jobs you've done. In order to do a job, all you need to do is look at the job, see how much dusk reward and how much stamina is required, and click Do Job. I'm about to spend 3 of my stamina to potentially earn a free dusk reward. Now I can click Confirm, and it's going to tell me either the job was successful or not. Now I will tell you that this jobs market is very competitive. There are a lot of people fighting for these jobs. It's very much like real life. And so you need to have a process in order to ensure that you get these jobs. That will be watching this jobs board and waiting for the jobs to appear. As soon as they appear, you need to click very, very quickly, in order to get this job. And the way that we do this, the way that we click quickly, if we're on our computer, is I don't know if you saw me do that. That was very, very quick. But what I actually did there was I clicked on the job, I pressed tab, tab, tab 3 times, and then I pressed the space bar. But you need to be super quick. Super quick. And very possible I might have just got that job. No, maybe not. You have to be so quick. It goes so quick. If you're not quick enough, you'll lose it. This is what you'll need to do. And this is what people do. They sit here and they do these jobs until one goes through. Now I'm going to see if I can get a job. Might not be quick enough. No, still very slow. See, I'm not very good at this. But you might be better. And this entire job board is getting an overhaul. It will be much, much better in the future. Now, this is just the way it is. We're not doing very well getting those jobs. We're going to try a different one. So we're going to wait for a job to come in. And we're going to see if we can acquire one. Again, just not very quick. I'm quite slow at this. They go so quickly. Now, sometimes there'll be a big, big job order that come in. And you might get lucky. But you have to be quick. I'm going to try one more. Okay, we're just waiting. And sometimes they come in quickly, sometimes they come in slow. It really depends on some of the bigger players, and they've run out of their stamina, and so now they're posting and they're paying dusk, and that is what happens here. So when we had our water filter, if I'd have posted this job, then you would have seen it. Nope, we didn't get it. So we're going to leave that there. But if you do get it, this will be green, and you'll have your countdown timer. So that is the job board. And again, quite difficult to get jobs. Maybe you'll be better at that than me. Okay, so let's come back. And we've now got our water. That's great. But we've also now got an empty power cell. You can see we're 9 out of 10. So I can now come across to my solar panel. And I can do the same thing. I can charge my power cell. It's going to take 1 stamina and 1 empty power cell. And in 20 hours, I will get 1 full power cell. We're going to go ahead and confirm that. And now our power cell is recharging. Another thing you can do is you can go and buy power from the marketplace, but again, you'll spend dusk to do that. So in this instance, by using our solar panel and our stamina, we can just create this loop. So the idea is you want to be able to generate enough water and food to power your stamina and use that to replace your energy to create this loop. So now we've got the water, that was the easy thing. We've done our power. Now we need to make some food. Now, food's a little bit more complicated. So before we get started, let's just go ahead to the player guide. And here on the left-hand side, there's all of the things that we can read through. Now, I'm going to scroll down because what I'm looking for at the moment is the greenhouse. The greenhouse will be in the core buildings. And we can see here the solar panel, the water filter, the greenhouse, and the CAD. So we're going to click on the greenhouse. And this is going to show us as we scroll down all of the things that we can do. So we can make coffee, we can, or coffee cherries, bamboo, we can make food, lots of things to do. Now, on the right hand side, in terms of food crops, we can see that we've got sprouts, lettuce, carrots, sweet potatoes, or soy. Now, the more that we have in terms of our seeds, the more food it will produce, but also the more it requires. So let's go back to our greenhouse, click on this, and if I looked at the soya, which we could see is the most that we're going to get, we need a building level 5 for this. We do not have that. We have a building level 1. So soya is not available at the start. And you can also see this if I scroll down under the table here. So in order to plant these, and we've got a common building, at level 1, we can only plant sprouts and sorghum. So if we have a look above, you can see in terms of what we need, sprouts is the only thing that we can do. That's it, just sprouts. We want to be able to upgrade to lettuce, but for that we need a common too. If you was fortunate enough to get an uncommon, the same thing would apply. You would need a level 2. Okay, so let's look at the crop data. So with sprouts, it's going to take 4 hours. We're going to get a minimum of 10 food. Maximum we're going to get is 14 food. Okay, it's going to take 1 stamina, it's going to take 1 power, and it's going to take 1 water and 1 soil. Okay, so that is going to give us 10 food. Now we can obviously do this in bulk. So let's go ahead and do this now. We're going to go back and we're going to look at what we need to do in order to plant our sprouts. Well, we know we need water. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is fill up our water. So let's come to where it says here on the screen, fill irrigation. Now we can put in our water, but we need 20 to start, and we don't have that yet because we're filtering our water. So you now have 2 options. You can wait for your water to filter from your ice, from your scavenging, or in this instance, I'm going to show you how the marketplace works. So I'm going to come over to the marketplace tab, open this in a new window, and we're going to search for water. Now remember that when you buy things, you're going to be using your dusk, and if you run out of dusk, you're going to have to wait. Now in terms of water here, we need 8 water, and you can see that it's sold last for 0.24. On average, over 24 hours, it's been selling for 0.243, and the total volume is over 114,000, which means there's good buying interest. It last sold a minute ago, so we're quite comfortable at 0.24. We should be able to buy the 8 that we need. Okay, so 8 at 0.24, that's about 2 dusk. So we're going to spend 2 dusk. You can see that's now come out of our inventory, and it's going to take us here. Now this is our orders screen. So we have our marketplace and our orders. If it's available to claim, it will be green. Otherwise, it will not. It will be white. So our order has been filled. Click claim, confirm, and we now have our 8 water. Somebody has sold and we have bought. And this is a blind order book system, meaning that you do not know what bids at what price and how many are against each of these products. So when you buy and sell, you're doing it blind, and it keeps a very fair marketplace as a result. So we can now go back to our building, click on our greenhouse, and we are now in a position where we can fill our irrigation. We're going to confirm this, And we've now used our 20 water and put it into our greenhouse. So let's see what we need next to be able to plant our sprouts. Well, we're going to need some power. We don't have enough power at the moment, so again, let's recharge and put in one battery. Same as before, it'll give us 20 storage and either an empty or a broken power cell. We've got an empty power cell, that's great. So let's now close this down, come back to our solar panel, and we're going to select our solar panel and we're going to confirm using one stamina. And again, in 20 hours, that will then produce a charged power cell. Now, because this is a common level 1 building, our task capacity is only 1, meaning we can only charge one power cell at a time. This is going to be a challenge because you're going to have a lot of power cells. So you're going to want to try to upgrade this to an uncommon, but the problem with that is because I have an uncommon water filter, I'm not going to have the space because remember, an uncommon will be 15 building size. So already we've used up all of our building size. So the only other thing you can do is start to acquire shards. And with those shards, you can upgrade your solar panels. And again, you can buy those in the shop. You would need to click on maintenance. And this is the maintenance screen. We need one shard. Okay. And it's going to cost us 10 dusk plus one shard. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going back to the marketplace and we're going to click on shards and we're going to type in solar. And we can see that a solar panel, a common solar panel, is so popular right now. It's 14 dusk for one. That's very, very, very expensive, especially when you consider some of the other prices. A mythic or a rare is a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. So 14 dusk per shard. So you'll need to spend 14 dusk to buy the shard. And when you have the shard, you then need to spend another dusk. So that's 24 dusk just to get to a level 2 solar panel. Now you need to consider that a level 2 solar panel is only going to bring the charge time down from 20 down to 18. It's not going to do anything else. If you wanted, and you can click on the player guide, click on solar panels. If you wanted to add more tasks, okay, now we're going to do that by looking here. So charging power cell. I don't know if it actually tells us. I don't think it does. Oh, here we go. Max actions. So on a common, we can see max action 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So we will need to get to level 5. To level 5 before we can charge 2 power cells. Actually, what we need is an uncommon power cell because at level 1, we can then charge 3 at a time. So what I might be tempted to do in this instance, if you're playing the game at the very start, would be to try and acquire an uncommon solar panel. And then probably at the same time, a common water filter. So you can swap these two. So you can, before you place this, you might want to try and sell it before you place it. Because now all I can do is break this down into shards. I can then sell the shards, but I don't know if they're going to be valuable. Let's have a look. So if I type in water filter right now, look at buildings, and I can see that a building is 25 dusk. Okay, last sold. And we look at the average price. So 17 is the average price. And then let's look at the shards. So the shards are selling for 3.5. Okay, so I'm going to get more if I sell the building than if I sell the shards. Now, if I look at a building and I was to look at a solar panel, so let's look at the solar. I was to get an uncommon solar panel, I'm going to pay about 180 dusk. So now you can start to work out in your mind, okay, I need 180 dusk for my uncommon solar panel. I need to buy another water filter as well. So I'm going to need to pay 180 here plus another 7 here. Okay, so let's say approximately we're going to spend 200 dusk. So we need to be able to build up to that so that you can change your buildings around, or you can just reach out and ask me and might be able to help you. But that being said, I'm not always available and you need to be self-sufficient. So we're going to come back now to our plot of land. We're going to click on our greenhouse and we're going to get back to where we was planting our sprouts. Now we still need two more things. We need some sprout seeds. Again, we're going to go back to the marketplace for this and we're going to type in sprout. Okay, click on all. And here we go. One sprout seed is 0.65. Okay, the last sale price. So we're going to go for 0.7. We're going to go above what it says. And we're going to go ahead and confirm. We put a bigger order in at 0.7. If somebody is selling one cheaper, we'll get the average sale price. So even though we bid 0.7, there was one available for 0.65. So we only paid 0.65. I'm going to go ahead and claim that. Okay, so now I can come back to my land and we've now got our sprout seed. Now what we're going to need for the next stage is we're going to need the ability to add soil. Now there's two ways that we can do this. The first is we can come across to our CAD and we can make soil. We use our waste, we use some dust, some stamina and our power storage and it will create soil. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's recharge, use another battery, empty power cell, and we're going to click make soil. Now in this instance, we can do 2 tasks in 12 hours. We're going to use 2 stamina, 4 waste, we're going to use our power storage, and we're going to use our regolith. Now, I know in this instance we can only do 2 capacity. If you don't have enough waste, you could go and buy the waste. So the reason that I mention that is because let's just confirm this so it starts. And then let's go back to the marketplace. Now in the marketplace, let's have a look at the output, which is soil. Soil right now sells for about 0.7. If we look at the soil, let's go to our player guide and look at the CAD. We can see that for whatever we input, we're going to get out 4 soil. So I know that I could then come to the marketplace and sell my 4 soil for 2.4 dusk. No, sorry, 2.8 dusk. Sorry, because it's 0.7 and you've got 4 of them. Okay, so that's 2.8 dusk. So now let's have a look at the waste. How much does waste cost? 0.03. How much waste do we need? Well, 2 waste creates 4 soil. So I know that if I spent 0.06 plus my stamina, plus my energy that I already have, then and my time, I know I'm going to make about a 2 dusk profit by turning waste into soil. And so that is one thing that you can do. You could buy the waste unless you have it already. If you don't want to buy it, then you can just wait, consume your food, and you will acquire waste. But you can buy your waste, and then you can turn it into soil, and then that is a way that you can make some profit to start. So that's one thing to consider. So now we've got our soil that is being made, we have our water that is being created, we have our solar panel charging, and now I'm just going to go ahead and buy some soil because for the purpose of this, I want to show you the getting started. So I'm going to go ahead and buy now. I'm going to put in 0.75. I'm going to go above what it should cost. I'm going to buy 1. And remember, it'll sell me at the cheapest option. So 0.72. I'm going to go ahead and claim. There we go. Now I can come back, click on my greenhouse, plant my sprouts, and I've got everything that I need to make that happen. And I can do 3 of those. And so it might be in my interest to buy 2 more seeds and 2 more soil. In fact, I'm going to go and do that now. Let's go back to soil. This time when I buy, I'm going to put in a lower offer. I only want to pay 0.5. I'm going to confirm. And because there is not one for sale at this price, it says cancel. Now I can either leave that until it claims, or I can cancel and go and put in a higher offer. So let's go and do that now. Let's go back to soil. I'm going to buy. I need 2 more soil. Again, I'm going to go 7.5 because I'm going to go above because I know it will fill at the cheaper price, and I'm going to claim. I'm also going to do the same thing for the seeds. So that was a sprouts. I'm going to buy 2 sprouts. Again, I'm going to go a little bit above. I need 2 of them. Excellent. So I've got that. So now I'm down to just 15 dusk. But I've got everything that I need here to be able to get my food, which my food is now in 2 hours. I'll have some more food. Okay, so I've now got my food. I've got my water. I've got my energy recharging. And I've got my soil being created. So now the only things that I need to purchase in this loop is going to be waste if I need more and seeds. That's it. Everything else, I can just wait. Now, this is one of the things that we can do. Whilst I'm waiting, we can go ahead and we can scavenge. Now, we're going to use up our stamina and we're going to acquire a few more items. So let's just do this a few times. And we're going to go down to 15 stamina. And we're going to acquire a few items, and you might get very lucky. There are a few rare items that you might be able to sell for quite a lot of money. But they're rare and they're not going to come up all the time. Most of the time, you're just going to get ice and regolith, and that's fine because we're going to need this. So now we can go across to our inventory and we can see we have here all of these items. We have our metal bits, our electronic bits, we have some water rich clay. Now, all of this stuff in the early stage is not relevant to us. We don't need it. So let's go and sell it. We go to the marketplace, we click on resources, and as you scroll down, you'll be able to see when you see a blue on the right side, this means we can sell it. So we click sell. We can look at how much the average price is and what the last one sold for. Okay. And we can see now that we've got 1. So we're going to go for 0.5. Let's go for a confirm on 0.5. Will it sell? No, it will not sell. So you can either leave it and wait or cancel and come back and offer a different price. So again, let's go to resources, scroll down. The last one sold for 0.41. So we might want to try and sell for 0.4 just to see if it would sell. Yes, it did. It sold for 0.4, but that's all we get. And also, you will be paying a 5% tax. So when we claim, we're only going to be claiming 0.389. You must be aware of that. That tax that you pay, that tax normally goes to the game developers. But because you're a member of Undisputed Noobs, that tax comes back into the guild. This is how we make our profit in the game. Because for the first 3 months of you playing the game, we acquire 100% of your marketplace fees. You pay them anyway, because if you don't pay them to us, you will pay them to the game developer, and that is their fee. That goes into their treasury. But in order for you to be able to play this game, you're generating dusk for us. So that zero is such a small amount. It's 0.011 dusk would now come to Undisputed Noobs, and that will build up into our treasury. So now we've done that. Fantastic. Let's go back. Let's go back to the marketplace, back to our resources, and let's see what else we have to sell. Now, we're not going to sell our empty power cells. We're not going to sell our food or our full power cells. We're not going to sell our ice because we know we can use that. But we can sell these metal bits. Now, we've got 14 metal bits. Now, we can see the average price that they've been selling for is 0.32, but that seems a bit cheap. So let's go for 0.4. You might want to go a bit higher, and you might actually just want to test one to see if it sells. If it does, then you can raise the price. No, it did not sell. So because it did not sell, we have a choice. We can either wait for it to pick up in price, or we can sell it cheaper. So I see the last one went for 0.35. So let's go for 0.35. We're going to sell all of them. Now, we currently have 16 dusk, and if these sell, which they have, We can sell them, claim, and we're going to get 4.6 dusk. So we're back up to 20 dusk just from a little bit of scavenging. And that's it. That's everything that you can do in this game. Now, again, don't use your daily rations. Everything else we want to keep. I can also get rid of this water-rich clay. So I can actually type that in here. I'll just type in water, resources. There we go, water-rich clay. And I can sell that for 1.5. We'll just try and sell that and see if it sells. It did. We claim that. Again, a little bit more. And that's it. So now we have some dusk. We can buy some more seeds. There are some more things that we can do. And at this stage, we're not going to be able to use all of our power cells. Now, you can be charging them up because you're only able to charge kind of 3 at a time at the moment. Okay, you're not going to use them all. And so I would say the initial stages, if you type in sell, probably sell 5 of them. But let's go ahead and do that right now. So we can see that they're selling for 13.39. So we're going to go ahead and sell 5 at 13.35. So we go ahead and we sell those. It didn't sell. That's fine. We can cancel that. And we can go ahead and try and sell it again a little bit cheaper. So let's go for 13. We're going to go for 13. We're going to sell 5 of them. Again, a bit cheap. You can probably go a bit higher. You'll figure that out. For the purpose of this video, I kind of want to do it quickly. 62 dusk. So now I'm on 83 dusk. Okay, that's going to give me enough to buy the things that I need to buy. I'm going to click on my actions. I can see that I've got 4 hours until my next action. Now I could use that money that I just made, okay, and I can go to the marketplace and now I can buy some more power cells. I might want to buy some empty power cells because I sold them for 13. I might want to put in a buy order to just buy maybe 2 more, but maybe I only want to pay 11. And I leave that in. I'm still in profit. I'm still in profit. Now, that hasn't filled yet, but I can leave it until it does. The reason I might do that is because I can buy the empty, because I've got land. And this is where you are ahead of anybody in the game. Because anybody can play this game. Anybody can buy an access pass. But unless they spend the money to buy land, unless they purchase the land and the buildings, they're not going to be able to do these tasks. This gives you a massive advantage over anybody who is coming into the game in the very early stages. And let's just take a moment. Let's just pop over to the marketplace and let's just have a look at the price of your assets. So the first thing that you acquired was a land deed. And a common land deed at the moment, the lowest price, is $38.45. I'm just going to say $40 to make it easier. Let's have a look at the blueprints. You also got a greenhouse, 10 cents. A water filter, 10 cents. You also got a CAD, 20 cents. And you also got solar. Now, I'm going to type in solar because I'm not going to be able to find it. $1. So in total, there is about roughly $42 worth of assets plus the power cells. Now, this fluctuates and it's around $50 worth of value. At the moment, it's 42. It's a little bit underpriced, but it goes up and down. The marketplace moves, which is why I told you I am giving you $50 worth of value. That's yours. You own it. You have $50. You could right now go and sell that, make your $50 and leave. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate, if you do that, you wouldn't be welcome in our community because you haven't agreed to the principle of the 30 days. I've asked you first to do 30 days before you sell. If you're willing to do that, then you're willing to stay. And within those 30 days, if you go above and beyond, and if you try really hard and I can see the effort, I'm more likely to send you buildings. I'm more likely to send you more land. I'm more likely to give you things to help you because we do that as a community. We work together, we grow, we build, we have fun, and we do this within the Discord. And so I urge you, please go and spend some time. Learn the game. Understand the marketplace. Get yourself started. At the very, very least, please just try. Just try this loop. Try getting some water. Try scavenging. Do the things that you need to do. And when you get to a point where you've got some money, more than 50 dusk, come across to the shop. So this is the shop. Here, you'll be able to look at some more advanced features. And I'm going to show you one more in this video before we end. And in the next video, we'll look at some more advanced core loops. So here, if I scroll down, I'll see one, there is resource credits. Now for your tutorial, you will have acquired some credits. You can use that to buy some of these items. You could have actually used it to buy some seeds to get started, some food, some other things. And I don't know how many credits you will have acquired, but you might even be able to buy some buildings and some other things, some shards, etc., etc. Now, one of the things you might want to look at, and I recommend, is to grab yourself a novice scavenging tool. Okay, if you can do that, that's going to be great. If not, don't worry, but you want to look at what you can buy here. So, anything with a limit is going to be cheaper. See, water is free, but for the first 25, I can get them for 1 each. Same with food. Now, you might not want to waste your tokens because you can't get them again. And a lot of them, you have to wait for other in-game. They'll be used later in-game. Okay, but for now, you might want to buy this. Spend your 100 tokens if you've got them. If not, you can come to the Duskworks supplies. Scroll to the bottom, and you can actually buy one of these for 50 dusk. Now, I've got 61 dusk. I'm actually going to go ahead and purchase this. Once every 24 hours, you can purchase the Novice Scavenging tools. Okay? And in doing so, when I come back to my land, you'll now see the second icon. If I click on this, I'm going to acquire some XP and a lot more in terms of my resources. See, I'm getting more resources. So if you're going to scavenge, I recommend doing it once a day because you can only claim it once every 24 hours and you can only do 50. So you'll need to use 50 stamina and you'll need to use 50 energy. Because as your energy depletes, and let's just go back and have a look. So close down all the other screens. My scavenger power tool, it needs power. Now, once every 24 hours, this gets an additional 10 power. That's part of the rations. You get 1 daily ration and you get 10 energy. That happens once a day. You're still going to need to use 2 full power cells to charge this. Now, the first day it's okay, but afterwards, you're going to need 2 power cells plus your daily rations to do your 50 scavenge. So I would make sure that every day you've got 50 dusk to buy this toolkit, your 50 energy, you're acquiring your ice, which you're going to use for the water filter. You've got your power cells, which you can charge on your solar panel. And the only thing that you should need to buy is waste, which you should have, but if you need to, you can buy waste for the soil, get the soil going, and then you need to buy seeds. And that is it. In the early stages of this game, that is it. And then your focus is really going to be on upgrading those buildings, getting yourself where you get more tasks, getting yourself where you're able to expand. And the next step really is going to be buying either a second plot of land or upgrading to a common plot of land. And you can actually buy these lands. You can buy the land in here. And it might just be a case of looking out for a good deal. It might just be that you look here that one sold for 880 dusk. So this is where you can start to work out some formulas. And I've got a sheet which I'll share with you. And in this sheet, what I do is I work out what is the price of wax and what is the price of dusk. Okay, so at the moment, one wax is about 27 cents. And one dusk is about 3 cents, just under. So I know if I'm going to, for example, look on the marketplace and I'm going to buy a land deed, just type in land deed and look for a common. It's going to cost me 134 wax. So I'm going to type in here 134 wax, which is about $35. Now, I'm also going to, it's actually a bit more than that at the moment. I think wax might be worth a bit more, but you understand. I'm now going to come back to the marketplace in game, and it's going to cost about 880 dusk to buy a land deed common. Okay, so now let me look at this. 880 dusk. We come back, we type 880, and I can see that I can buy a common within the internal marketplace for $10 less. $10 less by buying it inside the in-game marketplace off of another player than if I buy it off of another player on the external marketplace. And you're always going to need this simple formula to be able to work out what is the price of wax, what is the price of dusk. And from there, understanding this, you'll be able to work out where you can get the good deals. I hope that helps, because this is a way that you can acquire more land. So then you just need to go through that common loop. Now, in the first 30 days, you should be saving up your rations because you'll be able to use that to buy more land. You will also, in game, by doing the daily tasks, be in a position, these sell on average for 880. Remember, these are assets that you own. Now, let me just tell you something. This is Generation 1 and Generation 2 land. This is Genesis land. The next generation, Generation 3 land, will have penalties attached to it. There will be maintenance. There will be ongoing fees. The Generation 1 and Generation 2 land will become very, very valuable. It is limited. And so the longer you can hold it, the more it will be worth. It might not look very valuable now, but in the future, when there are millions of players, this will be very, very rare. And you'll be able to sell it for a lot more money. So the longer you can hold your assets, the more they will appreciate in this game. Okay, that is everything that we need to cover at the moment. I wish you luck. I hope you enjoy your loop. And remember, the advanced scavenge is going to give you a lot more. In terms of scavenge XP, it does not do anything yet. It will do soon. It will allow you to upgrade your skill system to be able to scavenge for better things. At the moment, the location that you scavenge and everything else does not matter. It's a simple core game loop. You just need to press the button, get the things. That's all you need to do. So I've got 3 stamina left. We're just going to use the rest of our stamina. And so we're going to be out at this point. We're going to go to the shop and we're just going to sell all of the things that we've made. Now we're going to keep our ice because we're using that in the water filter. Remember? Now, I've got 5 tasks. I can come back here now and I can actually use all of the ice that I've got. I can do 3. I need to put some more power in. I don't have enough power. So let's recharge 1 more power cell. Brilliant. Now, what's interesting is because I wanted to filter some more water, I don't have any stamina. So now what I can do is post a work order. I'm going to pay 1 dusk per task. This will add it to the job board. I'm going to pay, they receive 1, but I pay 1.04. So I'm going to pay 3.12 dusk. 3.12 dusk. I'm going to confirm that. There we go. I've just paid it. The work order is in. And there we go. You can now see the water is filtering. And we know that we're going to get 16 water for each of these. Okay, so that's about 72 water that we're going to acquire. 72 water that we acquire. We only need 10 for our food. We've got enough for our greenhouse. We have everything that we need now. We have everything that we need. We have lots of this regolith to be able to do our soil. So the only thing we need is to keep our power topped up, our stamina topped up, and we might need to buy some waste. The only thing we're going to need to do here is to buy our seeds. As we upgrade our building, and we'll just go back to show you the greenhouse. As we upgrade our building, we're going to work towards lettuce. So in order for lettuce, which takes twice as long to grow, okay, but it's going to produce minimum 20, maximum 50. So we might get more. That could be a much better yield. It's going to take double the stamina, but it's going to produce at least minimum double the output. See, the maximum food on the first level, we're only going to get between 10 and 14. Whereas here we're going to get between 20 and 50. It's a much bigger, um, much bigger output. But it also requires more water and more soil. So you need to be gathering those and saving them up. Also, we need to be a common level 2, so you will need to upgrade with your blueprints. So you want to be acquiring blueprints, upgrading your buildings, you want to be working on this core loop, and you want to be getting to a place where you have an abundance of food, an abundance of water. You don't run out of power or stamina. And once you're at that point, once you're there, that's when we can go into video 3. And I'm going to end this video now, and I'm going to wish you all the success on Mars. I really hope you enjoy this opportunity that we've given to you. I hope you appreciate the value and that you stay and that you become a member of our community, because this game has some of the best economics that I've seen in any of DeFi. Any Web3 game, this game has some of the best economics. And you may not agree with some of the things that the game developers do, but I can promise you now, after knowing and talking to them for long enough, that what they do is in your best interest to create a sustainable economy for the long term. And so this is a very, very good project. And it's one that you will be able to make profit. Even if you play it for a month, do everything I've told you. In the worst case scenario, you can sell everything. You're probably looking in a month's time at having about $150 if you was just to sell everything. Because you'll have 3 land plots at this point, your 30 rations, the one you got at the start, and the one that you'll be able to acquire by playing the game. So that'll be 3 land plots with all of the buildings. You'll be able to sell them as a bundle for about $150, possibly more in a month's time. Now, I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you keep playing the game. And I recommend that you maybe take a small amount out every month and you reinvest some to keep upgrading. Because the more you upgrade, the better the buildings, the better the stuff you can do, the more money that you can make. Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy.